Welcome to Digital Literacy Simplified. Today's video is Mastering Windows File Management. So, file management is a crucial skill for anyone using a computer. Properly managing files helps you find what you need quickly and keeps your computer organized. This video will cover several key aspects of file management using Windows File Explorer. We'll focus on creating folders, naming files and folders, and backing up files. So let's get started. Files, folders, and drives. So files are individual units of digital data such as documents, images, videos, or executable programs. Files can be created, opened, edited, and deleted. They can be organized within folders for better file management. Folders are the containers used to organize files in other folders, helping to create a structured file system. A folder can hold multiple files and subfolders, making it easier to categorize related content. Drives are storage devices that can hold files and folders. They can be a physical hard drive, a USB flash drive, a network drive, or a cloud drive. Drives store data and provide a way for the operating system and applications to access that data. We need an application to take care of and manage all those files and folders and drives. And that application is Windows File Explorer. So Windows File Explorer is the built-in file management tool in Windows. It allows users to browse, organize, and manage files and folders and drives on their computers and connected devices. The File Explorer window is like a digital filing cabinet for all the files and folders on your computer. So this is an example of the file folder window, and we're going to go into detail of what all these elements are on this window. So Windows 10 used a ribbon at the top of the File Explorer window. Windows 11 replaced that with a more streamlined view called Command Bar. So the Command Bar is simply across the top. It's a new design and it's meant to be cleaner and more intuitive. So the command bar's functions are condensed into a row of icons that change options depending on what you've selected, files or folders or drives. So key functions include cut, copy, and paste. So these are represented by icons instead of text labels. Rename, an icon to rename the selected file or folder. And share. So it's an icon for sharing files, often with integration for apps like Microsoft Teams. Key functions include delete, an icon to send items to the recycle bin, sorting, allow you to change how files are sorted by name or by date or by size, and views. So views let you change the layout of the files and folders so you can see lists or more details on the files and folders that you want to review. The address bar and the search bar are located at the top of the window, providing navigation and search capabilities within the File Explorer window. Additionally, the command bar includes a See More or the three dots that are listed there, which is a menu which contains more advanced and less frequently used options that are specific to what you've selected, so files or folders. So for example, here on this list, you can see that by clicking the three dots, you can compress a file to a zip file, you can pin things to the quick access, you can copy a path. So if you wanted to copy a path and go to another window, you can also look at the properties of a file or a folder. So the File Explorer window, I've got this broken up into 3 different slides, and we'll take a look at each one of the elements that are on those slides. So these are the first 3 that we can take a look at. So you can see that they're numbered: the navigation pane, the command bar, and file and folder view. So the navigation pane, that's located on the left side. This pane provides quick access to your drives, your folders, and frequently used locations. You can see shortcuts to quick access this PC, network, and any connected drives. The command bar, as we mentioned, is the bar that runs across the top, includes buttons for common actions like new, delete, rename, and share. It also includes a search box for finding files and folders within the current directory. File and folder view. This central area displays the contents of the selected folder, so you can switch between different views like a list, details, or icons using the buttons in the command bar, also known as the content window. So the second screenshot that we've got here shows the file preview pane. We've got the status bar and the folder path bar. The file preview pane, when it's enabled, gives you a view of what's inside of that file. So it's a quick preview of the file. The status bar found at the bottom of the window shows information about selected items, such as the number of items in a folder or the available space on a drive. And the folder path bar, this is located just above the file view, shows the current folder's path. So for example, if I'm on the C drive, it would show me C. If I was on a subfolder, it would show me the full path of where that folder is located. And on the next screen, we're going to take a look at the search box, sort and grouping options, and tabs. The search box is located on the command bar and it allows you to search for files and folders within the current directory. You can use it to filter to refine your search. So sorting and grouping options on the command bar, you can choose how to sort and group, so by name, by date modified, or type. And there's a new feature inside of Windows 11 that allows you to add multiple tabs up across the top and simply by clicking a little plus sign that's on the tab. Context-sensitive menus are also very helpful. So if I'm inside of, let's say, Windows Explorer, and I want to get some information about the file, if I right-click on it, it will pop up a context-sensitive menu. And again, context-sensitive. So depending on whether I click on a file, a folder, an image, it will bring up a context-sensitive menu with options that are available for that particular item that I selected. So the File Explorer window. So, the features as they all go together provide a very streamlined, user-friendly experience for navigating and managing files, folders, and drives in Windows 11. So some key benefits of File Explorer. So it's a user-friendly interface. So Windows File Explorer offers an intuitive and visually appealing interface that makes it easy for users to navigate, organize, and manage files, folders, and drives without requiring extensive technical knowledge. And this is really key because if we had to go back to the days of DOS and we were trying to move our files around, you might find that a little bit challenging in comparison to how we use a GUI, an interface like Windows File Explorer. It also has powerful search and organization tools, so it includes robust search functionality, allowing users to quickly locate files by name, type, or date modified. And Windows File Explorer also offers integration with cloud services. So if you're using OneDrive, you can connect to OneDrive and you can share your files back and forth there, which makes it very easy for backing things up. Next, we're going to take a look at creating folders. So folders, when set up correctly and efficiently, keep your files organized and easy to find. Folders create structure, a hierarchy that mimics a filing cabinet, making it easier to locate your files. So grouping related files together also helps in managing and finding your files. So very easy to create a folder. Simply go to the desktop, use right click on a blank area on the desktop. You'll get a shortcut menu that says new. When you click on the new arrow that's beside the word new, it'll pop up folder, and you can just simply click the folder button and then it will ask you for a name on the folder. You can also do that inside of File Explorer. You can right click on a blank area there to create a new folder. So here's some tips for creating folders. So create a logical structure. So think about your files and how they relate to each other. So for example, create a main folder for work and subfolders for different projects or tasks that you have for work. Use clear folder names. So just like files, folder names should be descriptive. For example, a folder for project documents could be named 23 marketing campaign. Sometimes it's good to add a year in there because it distinguishes between your marketing campaign in 2023 and 2024. So if you're calling something the same name, put something in there like a date that indicates that it's of a different file. And regular maintenance. So periodically review and reorganize your folders to keep them relevant and tidy. And that's really important for when you're trying to find something. So don't overfill folders. I have a tendency to do that myself by keeping too many files in there, and it makes it really difficult to find things. So try to keep them organized, well organized, just like you would inside of a filing cabinet. And utilize a desktop for temporary storage. Your desktop should not be a permanent storage location. So instead, create shortcuts to frequently use files and folders to avoid clutter. I emphasize that because keeping so many things on top of your desktop makes it incredibly hard to find, to visualize as you're looking at your desktop. So you wind up doing searches on your desktop with a whole lot of clutter. And just think about it as a real desktop in your office or at home in your home office. If you have so much stuff piled up on your desktop, it's really difficult to find things. So file and folder views, as we discussed, you can see there's a view button here on the command bar. When you click that, it'll drop down a menu and it lets you take a look at extra large icons, medium icons, small icons, lists, details, tiles, and even more below when you can show the other options that are there, like a navigation pane, or if you want to take a look at maybe some hidden files, which isn't always good to do because a lot of hidden files sometimes are system files. So file and folder views. Uh, Explorer offers several ways to view your files in the file and folder view area, also previously known as a content pane. You can change the view by going to the View tab as we looked at by clicking the Layout and View Options button. So as we mentioned, extra large icons, medium and small icons, a different way for you to be able to see those icons for files and folders and drives in the content view. And lists, very simple way to list your files to get a little bit more detail on the names and maybe the dates of the documents when they were created. The details view even provides that much more detail. So when you see the details, it'll give you the file name, it will give you the date and time that it was created, and it's very helpful when you're trying to do sorting on and to find a file maybe that was done a year or two ago. Tiles just shows larger icons for each file along with some basic details. And content is a more detailed view. When you click on content, it actually pops up another pane inside of File Explorer, which allows you to preview the file. Next, we're going to take a look at naming your files. Naming files with recognizable names is important for organization, efficient retrieval, and clarity. Clear and concise file names simplify searching and prevent confusion by making it easy to understand the file content and status of the file at a glance. It simplifies teamwork too and collaboration by ensuring that all users can easily identify and navigate files, and it aids in consistent sorting and chronological order of files. So in other words, if I'm working with a group and we're collaborating on some work, I can't make weird, wild file names that don't seem to make any sense. I want to make sure that when I'm giving it a file name, it matters so that the next person that maybe is working on that project with me needs to open up that file. They can easily identify that file and find it in a good file structure. So use descriptive names. So name your files clearly so they know what they contain. Use names that describe the content. For example, instead of naming a document, document one, which a lot of people do, use the year, the date the document was created, and appropriate name. So for example, here, 2023 project proposal. Clarity, a well-named file gives a clear indication of its content. This means you won't waste time opening multiple files to find the right one, which I have done so many times. And searchability, descriptive names make it easy to search for files using the Windows search feature. So many companies have policies and procedures in place for how files are named and how they're saved and stored in folders. So if you're working in a business, it's always good to check the policies and procedures to ensure that you're following the recommended way to name your files and where to store them. So consistent naming conventions help maintain order, especially when dealing with many files. Dates are always helpful. In the example here, you can see that by putting on 2023 and the month and the day, the meeting notes, even they could have added on what that meeting was about to even make it a little bit more understandable for someone who's looking for that file. We want to avoid special characters, so stick to letters, numbers, underscores, hyphens. Special characters can cause issues in certain programs or systems, so they may not even be visible or legible. So and keep it short but informative. So while being descriptive is important, try to keep names concise. Long names can be cut off in some systems because they can't handle long names with spaces. So here's a few things to consider when you're importing or exporting files. So it's always good to check the system. So whenever possible, check the system for any special naming considerations or file lengths before importing or exporting. Again, it goes back to process procedures. Is there a naming convention or a convention that we use for our files and folders when we're importing or exporting files? In some cases, in some businesses, we're sending files off to our partners or to our clients, and their systems may be importing those files. So we need to make sure that we're not sending files that can't be opened. We want to avoid special characters and spaces because some systems don't recognize them. Most systems will recognize an underscore or a hyphen instead of spaces, but again, understanding the naming conventions in systems is important. Dates are always helpful, as we mentioned previously. And again, we want to keep names concise and consistent. That makes it easier for people when they're doing searching, and a nice concise name will help people to understand what's in the file. And it's also important that we keep file names concise and consistent across multiple systems. So backing up your files. So you've spent hours or days or maybe weeks creating critical documents, detailed spreadsheets, amazing presentations. But what happens if somebody spills a coffee on your computer, or they spill a coffee on their own computer, or a hard drive fails on a server, or worse, you get a cyber attack and all of your files become corrupt? So you could lose every bit of information, all those important files that you've been working on, and that would be disastrous. So backing up data is crucial for these reasons, like data loss and prevention. So accidental deletions, hardware failures, malware, cyber attacks, all can lead to data loss. So we want to do regular backups, and that can save you from losing these important files. And peace of mind, knowing that your data is backed up allows you to work without the constant worry of losing your files. So if you lose one day of updates on a Word document or a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet or a document that you're working on, it's not going to be as bad as if you lose the entire document and the entire history of everything that you've been working on. So here are a few tips for backing up. Use external drives. Very inexpensive, very effective way to back up your files. You may not back up your entire laptop computer, but you can back up those files that are really important for you. So a USB or an external hard drive are very inexpensive pieces of equipment to buy today. Cloud storage is another great way. So if you're using Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive, the nice way to be able to create your files on your laptop computer, and then just make sure you put a copy of them up on OneDrive or Google Drive. And they're very easy to do. And if you're using Google Docs, then a lot of your files are backed up by default on Google Drive. And schedule regular backups. So if you're using a flash drive or an external hard drive, just set some reminders to back your files up weekly or monthly. And many backup software solutions can automate this process for you. So the manual backup inside of Windows is you copy the files from your computer to an external drive using File Explorer or using Windows Backup. So simply go to Windows Settings, Update and Security in the Settings tab, and look for Backup. And it's pretty simple there. It will ask you a few questions. Just follow those prompts and then set it up and select Backup Drive. Let's summarize what we've reviewed. By following the information we reviewed in this video, you can significantly improve your file management skills. Proper naming conventions, organized folders, and regular backups will help ensure files are secure and easy to find. If you practice these techniques regularly, you'll become proficient in managing your digital files in no time. So I hope you found the video helpful. Be sure to like and follow our channel for how-to videos to help you develop the digital literacy skills you need to succeed. Thanks for watching.